Welcome to Screams and Streams and part 2 of our discussion of Brian De Palma's 1976 film, Carrie. Today we're going to finish off the categories and get into our bonus features, so let's get to the movie. Now we're going to move into our test of time section, and I'm going to kick us off. And right off the bat, I know we've talked about the opening volleyball scene and everybody was pathetic and they targeted Carrie, but that bullying of her on the volleyball court stands the test of time. Because like being in the classroom, we have that kid that is the unfortunate target. We see those kids that are just the target, and I'm not saying like bullying is the test of time and is a good thing that it's still happening, but they captured in that moment what we unfortunately see in classrooms every day still. And then my other test of time, and I know we've talked about the telekinesis and the overshowing of her powers, but when she's in her bedroom and she flexes the mirror before she shatters it.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really well done because I watched it a couple times and I can't figure out how they did it. If CGI was a thing at the time, maybe, I don't know if it was animated, but it stands up. That effect stands up really well. And I quite liked it. So those are my first two. Sam, what do you have for your test of time?
So one that I think really stood the test of time was the concept of revenge. I think like they bullied this girl so much, and the fact that she was able to carry this epic revenge out and get revenge, everyone was kind of rooting for her. You know,
she was able to carry it.
But the fact that she was able to do that, I think, is huge.
Right.
And I think they did it well, and people were rooting for her as well. So I think that really stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Yep. Chad?
I have two, and one is the same as Sam's. The revenge scene I loved. Like when she finally freaks out, closes the doors, and then goes nuts. And actually, my favorite scene, there's that girl in the hat with the rainbow hat.
Yeah. She's
also in Halloween. She's in a couple 80s horror films. She gets killed in every one of them. Oh. But I don't know what it was about her in this film, but she got me so mad at her, even more than Nancy or anybody else. I just hated her the most.
Was it Norma?
Norma, yeah, with her pigtails and ball cap, yeah, and the bubble gum, and just
is she the one that kicks the ballots and then hands the other one, hey, more ballots for you? Just everything she did just irked me.
Yeah,
and so when she got her comeuppance, I was like, yes, that's amazing. So finally, that revenge scene I really, really liked, and then the dinner scene with her and her mom with the Last Supper in the background.
Oh, yeah, that was shot
well.
Oh,
yeah, that was good.
That was so good. I loved the whole look of that scene and how it built up and everything done in that section. I ate it up. That's the test of time. That's my back it up. Like, I love that scene.
Yeah, it was framed beautifully because like the way they lit it and the white balance to get them so like the color of the painting matched the color of their flesh. Like they were a part of that dinner.
Yeah. It was unsettling, but just shot so well. I loved it.
For me, another test of time was, and this is a terrible one as well, but the powerlessness of teachers to like that subversive bullying.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, unless it's blatant, there's nothing you can do, right? Like, we talk about bullying, we need to fix bullying, but there are those moments where it's like, it's just enough not to flag, and it's just subtle enough that you're not sure if it happened or not. Right. And I feel like Miss Collins is a PE teacher. Like, yeah, the plug it up scene is blatant and the other things are blatant. But when she's trying to get to the bottom of why did Tommy ask out Carrie?
Right.
And at that time as an audience, I was like, they're in on it, or they're setting it up as we're going to, do something to her to like make fun of her. It's obviously a prank. And she's talking to Tommy and Sue, like, why are you doing this? Like, we're just doing it to be nice. And yes, they were. But at the time, that teacher has no power in that situation to really get to the truth, even though she was getting the truth.
They do a really, really good job of making you think, and we talked about this a little bit before, making you think that they are in on this other side attack, right? With the pig blood and stuff like that. Because even their line delivery, we're just doing it to be nice. You don't really buy that.
Yeah.
You're watching, it's like, nobody likes this girl. Everybody's bullying her. You participated in the bullying at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just think that they're just trying to mess her up even more so. And then when it comes out that they're not, it's this revelation, right? But I think they do a really good job of like tricking you into thinking that they're assholes and they're not really.
I think it's because they parallel Sue asking Tommy with Chris asking John Travolta's character, and then the final convincing and the decision to go along with the plan
right.
is also cross-cut. you have Sue asking Tommy in a scene that I was like, this is really awkward, where she's like, they're walking in behind the bleachers. I want to ask you to do something special for me.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, where is this going?
Exactly. Like, well, this took a turn. And then she asks him, I want you to ask Carrie out to the prom. And then we see in the car where Chris is asking and convincing John Travolta to pull this prank on Carrie.
In a way that doesn't make sense.
In a way that does not make sense.
At all.
The Dr. Phil. No guy is responsible for their decisions at that moment.
Yeah.
He said that on Oprah once.
Did he really?
Yeah. So you have him agree in the car. And I actually like it where she's like, I hate Carrie White. And John Travolta's like, sort of snap back like, who?
Yeah. Doesn't even register who she is, right?
Yeah. And then it cuts to Sue and Tommy, and she's studying. He's watching an old James Garner Western.
Right.
And they're shot, again, that 4-camera background.
Yeah.
There's a distance between them. Finally, Tommy turns and he's like, okay, I'll do it.
Right.
So I think that's why, as an audience, we intertwine the two. Like, they must be all a part of the plot, because it's very well shot or edited together, paralleled. Yeah.
Well, and I thought it was kind of weird too that at the dance, like, he was kind of weird and falling for her almost. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was also, you know, raised some questions as well, because he was saying like, oh, you're so beautiful and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of weird as well. So like, I don't really know what was going on there, but. And
he opened up about the fact, like, actually, I didn't write that poem. Right. So he's plagiarizing in class, and he actually confesses this to Carrie, like lets her in on it. And it was like, a bunch of people are going to a party, and she's like, oh, I don't know. And then instead of being like, well, I'll pressure you to go, he's like, okay, well, then we can just go and
do whatever
something
you want
else.
to do.
Yeah. Like, he's so kind.
He's like the nicest guy. and set
just
up on
plagiarizes a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
we all have some.
Who hasn't done a little bit of that?
And then my other test of time is the tuxedo t-shirt. When they're
yeah.
Sorry, the silence was awkward there.
No,
it took me a while to register. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Oh, yes."
Yeah, when they're all trying on tuxedos, and the one guy who's like, "I don't want to wear that. I don't want to wear that." And he's like, is it me? Is it me? It's like, it's still good. Always a good one.
Reminds me of Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Does anybody else have another test? I think that's everybody.
I had one more. Just when she was crowned as prom queen, I really, even though it was long when they were applauding her and she was walking up, but they had, you know, the lights were on her. She was the center of attention, and you could feel in that moment, because we all knew what was going to happen, and I felt my stomach drop for her. I was like, oh no, this is going to go so bad, and she has no idea. And it's like this euphoric scene where she's being crowned, and it's wonderful, and yes, it's a little bit too long, but I think that really stood the test of time, because I really felt for her in that moment.
Yeah, and she's looking around just all doe-eyed, just, I can't believe this is my time.
Yeah. And we all know, and my stomach actually dropped. I felt sick. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I just thought of It Doesn't Hold Up.
Oh, okay.
Tommy dying by bucket to the head.
Oh, I have so many notes, and it's just like,
did he die?
That's in the commentary. They covered it, and he's laying dead in front of her. He's laying dead. It knocked him out, but that bucket was not heavy.
I thought he got knocked out.
But even then, like, it's just like, boink, and he like collapses in front of Carrie.
At most, you get a goose egg. That's about it.
Yeah.
And then everybody laughs, so that makes that scene even more messed up.
Yeah.
If the guy is dead and nobody runs to his attention, nobody goes on stage at all when all this happens. No administration, nobody. They all just stand there and watch. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, my note was LOL at Tommy getting hit by the bucket. And then I was like, oh wait, he's actually dead, I think, was my actual comment there. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't think he died. I thought he just got knocked out. I always thought he just got knocked out.
I always thought he got knocked out as well, until in the commentary they talked about he's lying dead in front of her.
Yeah, I assumed he died afterwards when the fire happened, like, because I think everybody died in that. But
there's a scene where I didn't look this closely, but there's a scene where there's like 6 students and they're carrying somebody held up in a blanket. And I think it's like they're trying to get Tommy's body out of the gym.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he was passed. I don't know. Yeah. But the commentary said dead. Sam thought dead.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
In the remake, it's a solid thunk when the bucket hits the person in the head. Yeah. I rewatched that scene. It's like that person died.
They really sell it.
It's head trauma.
Well, this one, it comes down. It's like, dink. It's just this little bonk, and he's like, ow, and then he falls on his knees and goes down. It's just like, okay, well, he's knocked out. I didn't think
And yet he's a football player. Like he should be
he should be used to some head contact there.
We're going to now move into our section, eerie to ear splitting. Chad, do you want to talk about the music and the use of sound?
I thought most of the music and the sound effects were well done in the film. I didn't like, as we said before, in the shower scene, the sexy time music that they had playing in the background. I didn't like the prom music that they had in the background there. And maybe it's because it was 1970s and I'm just not into that kind of music, but I didn't think it really added to the scene or anything. It kind of was annoying. However, when she uses her powers and you get that wink, wink, kind of psycho, like it's almost, I thought they just lifted that psycho bit and put it into Carrie, because it sounds almost identical to that. Just whenever she uses her powers, they use that sound effect, which I kind of like. I did make a mention that the music is creepy at times, but then I think my favorite part with the audio is when in the revenge scene, and Sam, you mentioned this before, when there is no audio and the music's gone and she's just looking around and the bucket's swinging and it falls. The hit on the head is a little, kind of silly, but after that, and then she loses it and wink, wink, and then it all goes to shit. Yeah. I really like that, how they took the audio right out of there, and then we just hear, I guess, what Carrie's hearing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those were my two. I thought overall the audio was eerie, except for those couple of scenes where it was ear splitting with the locker scene and stuff.
And I think that's where I'll jump onto the conversation, because one of my first notes on the eerie to ear splitting is the shower scene where we've panned through this locker room of frolic. And we're now going into like tight close-ups of a woman showering, and in a way that I don't think any woman showers, but the music is just too romantic, too idyllic, but I guess it's, but maybe De Palma's doing the whole, like, there's going to be a shattering of innocence coming up shortly. So it's she's innocent, she's naive. So this almost nymphic music is playing as she's there. But then you parallel that with, did anyone notice the shower head?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, maybe I'll show it later. No. I'll put something on the website too, maybe, but it's a very phallic shower head.
Oh.
It is. No, it's you've got Carrie and she's soaping places and holding them, and then it cuts
she's soaping places and holding them.
We'll just say she caresses her breasts.
Yep. Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
while she's does. If you're showering in a public place, you're not slowly feeling yourself.
But I think she almost forgets where she is.
Maybe.
Because she's the only one in the shower at that time. Everybody else is having towel snapping fights out in the court, tickle fights in their underwear, and they're out in the main area, right?
Yeah.
And she's alone, and this is her kind of alone time. So I think maybe she even forgets where she is, but I don't know. Maybe
it's a break from the harassment that she's getting from everyone.
Maybe. Maybe.
But she does do a lot of touching.
She does. Oh, it is a lot of touching.
And if you knew, if you're in a public shower area, it's inappropriate.
Yes, it's frowned upon.
But while that's happening, it just cuts to the shower head, and it's round, long, and the water's just spraying out of this thin little nozzle. Like it's a dick. It's a dick.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go back and check.
I'm trusting your evaluation of
out, or maybe not. But I never really picked up on that, but it's interesting.
And then later on, or shortly thereafter, the mom, when she's walking home after visiting the Snells, the music again, to me, I was writing down like, oh my God, this music, it's too ideal. It's too perfect. It doesn't fit the mood. But then they do something really interesting where once she goes through the doorway of the house, instantly changes to these cellos playing very deep, ominous like motifs back and forth. And so I was like, oh, that was actually really well done, where you've got like what she presents to the world is this like church going perfect woman. Like, we're just trying to do good things, accept God into your life. But behind the closed door of the house, she's this religious, fanatic, abusive mother.
Right.
Who locks her daughter in a closet.
With the scariest.
Psycho Jesus.
The Psycho Jesus is a lot. I have, those eyes.
Oh, the eyes that light up. Who buys a statue like that? That just kind of peer out. Oh, man. Super creepy.
Yeah. I want 2 table lamps from old movies. I want the lamp from Christmas Story, the leg.
Yep.
And I want that Saint. So it's actually Saint Sebastian, but I want that like crucified lamp with the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want those in their living room?
You gotta put it over in that corner there.
That's right. Another scene that my daughter saw was when she got thrown into the closet. She had seen bits of the house and she said, wow, there's a lot of Jesus statues in this house.
A lot of Jesus.
There's a lot of Jesus. Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll just say before I pass over to you, Sam, is just, it's funny that you liked the use of the scree sound, or that's how I wrote it up, because I was gonna use that as gratuitous.
Oh, really?
Where it became too much at one point, but I guess like they needed something to cue the telekinetic attack. So
yeah, at that time they only had camera tricks and audio
stings,
right?
Yeah.
So you couldn't really.
Yeah, I kind of had a love-hate with the sound effects as well. I was like, they're kind of awful. They kind of work. It's a good sound effect, like the re. Like it's a good one, but it's super loud. I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't know if it was just my TV or how I was watching it.
It's aggressive.
It is. And I found like all of the music and the sound effects to be really in your face. Like the characters were quiet and the music and the sound effects were really loud. So I found myself, I kept having to turn it down and then turn it back up again for some of those scenes as well. Yeah, I think I mentioned before the sound of the dripping was a little bit too much from the blood after, and how I liked the swinging of the bucket and that epic sound that it made as well. But yeah, I kind of said the same things as you guys both said.
We're now going to go into our back it up moments. Sam, start us off. What were the scenes for you that were back it up worthy?
I kind of loved, obviously, the entire revenge scene. I loved that scene. I went back and rewatched it a couple of times. The funny thing to me was kind of the hose. I don't know if you guys noticed how the hose was spraying, but it was like a snake. Yeah. And it just kind of bobbed there a little bit. Yeah. It was just kind of doing its thing. And I found that hilarious.
I agree. Yeah.
So I kept, every time it came up, I was laughing at that a little bit. So yeah, the entire revenge scene, I rewatched that.
It's funny with the hose because when I was watching it, I was like, is that really that high of pressure? Or are they like just clowning and like sort of miming the water? But then doing research for this, I found out that the girl who plays Norma, her eardrum split.
I read that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the water pressure was so high.
Yeah.
So again, we're looking at 1970s movies where safety is not a thing.
Yeah, it does not matter.
Yeah. I have 2 back it up moments.
The actress's name, is PJ Souls.
PJ Souls, yeah. Her eardrum split because of it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I'll go with my second one and I'll go back to the first one after. But for me, again, it's also that when Carrie attacks. To be frank, watching this movie, I struggled to think of back it up moments. I was like, I don't know. There's nothing worth rewatching. And then that final scene, I love the split screen where you see her face in the crowd and just her flicking her eyes left and right. And like you see the effect of what she's doing. I love the saturation of color,
right?
Where just it becomes everything's blue or red. Everything's red, right? Like she's covered in blood, and it's almost like it's affecting her vision. That.
When she switches it, right? Like she's there's that click where she just she looks and everything changes. Yeah,
and I loved everything that's been said about that scene. I totally agree with it. It was so well done, very well shot. And I rewatched the remake and the rage scene, and it's, again, I think it suffers because of the ability to do better special effects in the 2000s. Right? De Palma did more with less.
Yeah.
And a great job with it. So that's mine. And then my other back it up is just when the teacher slaps Chris during the detention. I hate to say it, but I was just like, fuck yeah.
She just hauls off and
because in society we can't act with violence anymore in any situation, but it's just like you just want to slap people sometimes. And the teacher just does, and it's like, yes. And it's funny because it's like, you can't slap us, and I thought they were gonna like show the phys ed teacher be like, oh yeah, I just hit a student, I'm gonna lose my job. No,
she doesn't care.
No,
she's like, no, you lose your prom, get out of here.
She's like, you can't do this. If we all stand together, just shut up. Like the girl just like totally turns her back on her. Just shut up.
Oh, she's just so unlikable. She's awful.
Chad, do you have any back it ups?
I like the dinner scene. So I really enjoyed that just for the aesthetics of it, really. And then the revenge scene obviously was was amazing. And I also really liked the mom's death scene where she shoots knives at her.
Well, and then she's in the exact same position as the lamp, right?
As the creepy lamp. Yeah. And so I liked how they did that. Yeah. The stabbing of Carrie was a little weird. I wasn't sure how she stabbed her at that point, and then she rolled all the way down the stairs. Yeah. And then she just had that little tiny blotch of blood on her back. But I guess that's kind of minor. But I did like where she gets her revenge on her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So good. I just had one more back it up. Talking about the framing of the dinner scene. And there was another scene that I thought was really beautifully framed. I kind of got frustrated with De Palma's use of foreground, background. But Carrie goes home from the attack in the showers because she's sent home early from school. And then the mom comes home and Carrie's at the top of the stairs. And she's like, I know you're listening. Come down. And I don't know how they did it, if it was the set or if it was forced perspective. But Carrie looks so childlike. She looks so small compared to the interior of the house at that moment when she comes down, and she's wearing very childlike clothing.
Oh yeah. So I do remember that scene.
Yeah, I
now.
do. Yeah.
And I was just like, that was beautiful. And you have those giant arches, or they're almost like cathedral arches between the living room and the kitchen, and the lighting is in the background. So you've got this sort of church effect, and Carrie's going down to see like the minister or whatever. I loved it. And I never thought to look at the rest of the film to see, does Carrie's dominance in the house change? Mm-hmm. But you never get that same framing again. So when her mom and her are fighting towards the end, Carrie's no longer shot as a child. She's no longer shot as so small.
Yeah. No, she rebels back. Like I'm doing this, mother. Like this is happening. Yeah. I just had one more test of time that just kind of popped in my head when we were just talking about this, was the mom's costume.
Yes.
As soon as you're introduced to the mother, when she opens the door and she's selling Bibles or whatever she's or her religion.
What is she doing?
Whatever she does for money.
She goes to one house and then refuses, or like is appalled that there's a donation offered.
So I don't know what her job is. It seems like she's a Bible salesman, but I don't know. But when she opens that door and she's in that black, I don't know, frock, like she's just got this cape, and she comes in right away. You know, something's wrong with her.
Yeah,
red flag.
Well, it's like she's dressed like a nun, like she's straight from the convent.
Yeah. And then it changes as she, in the final scene, she's in this like pure white nightgown when she gets killed, and I just thought it was very interesting how they switched her around like that. So her costume for me stood the test of time.
All right, we're going to move into our bonus features. Chad, what did you find when you were researching the movie?
So one of the things that I thought was interesting was I watched an interview with the lady who plays the gym teacher, is Mrs. Snell. Is that the
Miss Collins?
Miss Collins. Okay, sorry. And she was talking about that scene you had mentioned where she slaps Nancy. Chris. The actress's name is Nancy Allen. And she was saying, Nancy's like the sweetest girl, and we just couldn't seem to get the slap right. So then Nancy just said, well, just do it. Just slap me. Yeah. It's fine. And she slapped her, but they had to do it 29 times. So she slapped her 29 times.
See, and I found like it was either between 12 to 30 takes. So 29
is what
it's on the higher end.
Is what she said. Yeah. And you come out there, just hit me. And okay, let's do it again. All right, we're going to reset. We're going to do it from this angle. It's like, my God, how many times do you have to slap someone? But 29 times was the take.
Jesus.
Also, I found that it had a budget of $1.8 million and grossed $33.8 million.
Wow.
At the box office, which translated to today's money is over $182 million.
Wow.
So it was a huge success as far as that goes. Two nominations for Academy Awards, Best Actress Award for Sissy Spacek and Best Supporting for Laurie were some of the things that I found out.
A couple of things that came from the commentary, and they talked about in the opening scene when Carrie's looking for help, the two people in the room that she stains with her blood that you actually see stains on are Sue and the PE teacher.
Oh, okay.
Which are the only two people in the school that actually care or try to help with her somewhat. So it's just an interesting idea that she's marked them in some way. What I found interesting was sort of the casting potentials that could have happened with this film. So like Piper Laurie wasn't the first one considered for the role of Carrie's mom. Like she does a good job in it, as over the top as it is. So, but Sissy Spacek was originally going to audition to play Chris.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, but she didn't want that part. She wanted Carrie. So she showed up to the audition in a sailor outfit from her child that she sort of like picked the hem at and made it look a bit more tattered. She put Vaseline in her hair. She left herself sort of dirty and unwashed. So she went in as this gross, beaten down person. And that's how she auditioned. And De Palma's like, yeah, you're our Carrie. You get the role.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Amy Irving, who played Sue Snell, was De Palma's original choice for Carrie.
Really?
Yeah. So then when Sissy Spacek got the role, he just slid her over to Sue Snell.
Right.
And then the other side of it is, I guess George Lucas and De Palma were casting at the same time, so they held auditions together.
Yeah, that's what I found on my research too.
Yeah, Lucas was casting for Star Wars.
Yep.
And so William Katt, who played Tommy Ross, he actually passed on Luke Skywalker to play Tommy.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah. I was going to say,
Sue Snell was up to play Princess Leia. I think that's the only Star Wars ones that I found.
And then the guy who played Tommy moved on to be that superhero, what's this? Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Do you remember that TV show? He was like this bumbling superhero he had a triangle on his chest as an emblem, and it's ridiculous. I think it was only like a season, but it played when I was a kid. So
that's why I don't
olden
get it.
days,
The
Sam.
olden days.
It was the olden days. Greatest American Hero is what it's called. And it's not a triangle. It's I have no idea what that is. What would you say that shape is, Sam?
It's the Chinese symbol for zhong, or middle.
Okay.
Well, there we go. You should have asked Mike. So, because I just sat there, I was like, I don't know.
Or people that are fans of Swollen Members, it's also part of their iconography, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Or if you've seen the movie Red Dragon, it's the symbol there. They say is the red dragon piece in mahjong.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And then I've just got a couple others, and I'll let you finish off the category if you want. So I'll just get these out. This is Stephen King's first film adaptation. And then speaking of adaptations, there is the 2013 remake of it. There was a 2002 remake that was like independent and like very low quality. There was also a musical version of it.
Pardon me.
Yeah. It was I think the first round of it ran for 3 days, and then it got rebooted, and it's on YouTube.
Oh,
okay.
It is hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's very poorly done. And
that's all right. I think I'll miss that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was the musical? Do you know?
I can't remember. No. And then there was a Carrie / Facts of Life crossover thing that I couldn't find yet. That was in 2017. I'm still trying to find it. My last one, and then Sam, I'll pass to you. Sorry. I just love this one. So Piper Laurie, who played Carrie's mom, like during the filming kept saying like, this is a comedy, right? Because she thought her acting and the way she was directed and her lines were so over the top. This had to be a black comedy.
I read that as well.
And so she kept like breaking out in laughter during scenes because she just thought it was so hilarious how over the top she was being told to be. And De Palma was like, no, we're making a serious horror film. It's like, I just wonder how like heartbreaking that'd be for a director where your actor's like, this is a joke, right?
Yeah.
But too, like, think about all the times we laughed throughout the movie too. Like my like little like play-by-play is all just like LOL at this. Like, haha, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Very true. Sam, what do you have?
I had actually the same ones as you. The only thing with it was Stephen King's first novel and his first to be made into a movie.
Yep.
So he actually only got $2,500 for rights to the film.
I also heard that they spelled his name wrong in the credits.
I saw that as well.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. It's funny because Stephen King's movies for me are really hit and miss. Like he's got some good ones and he's got some real stinkers. Like we're going to review one of them later on called Graveyard Shift.
Yeah.
Which I remember watching that as a kid and being like, what the heck is this?
I've never even heard of it.
The TV version of It.
It still has a place in my heart.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Tim Curry as the clown, but some of those actors are
Well, you can't really have a horror movie with John Ritter and Harry Anderson.
Yeah, I don't see John Ritter in a horror ever, right? and Harry Anderson, yeah, like I was like the Night Court guy, like the joking magic guy. I don't get it.
And where was Mel Torme?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But then he's done like The Green Mile and Stand By Me and like some of these classics that are great. This one just falls is just okay in that kind of ilk, even though it is the first one. I think it has, like you have said, Mike, I think it has some really good moments. It is laughable at parts.
Yeah. I think it benefits and also suffers because of its time. Right?
Yeah.
It's of the 70s. And to quote the audio commentary, it's a great period piece.
Ah.
All right. So speaking of what Chad just brought up, let's get into our scale. Where do we place this on the watchability scale? I'm putting it out of 4.
Oh, wow. That's harsh. Okay. Go.
Well, it's
you did say you didn't like it. So
I didn't like it. I think it does do some things well, but not enough that you need to watch the entire movie to see it. Again, I think it was a movie of its time, and we're past that time. So for me, the threshold, like when we look at our scale, 5 is the threshold of, that's when I think our audience should actively go out and see.
Okay.
So I think this is something that if you are interested in horror, interested in looking at classics, giving it a 4 means, watch it. But anything above that makes me seem like I'm almost promoting it too much. And I just can't do that to our listeners.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry to have crapped all over it.
I would probably put it at about a 5.5 maybe. I actually appreciate it more, like talking back and reflecting more on it, especially the revenge scene. Like I just, I know I watched it a couple times, but I have so much respect for that scene. So yeah, I'd give it a 5.5. Like I wouldn't say it was a bad movie. I would say it's good. I think it's worth watching. It's a quick movie, easy to follow. So yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6. I still enjoy it. I don't think it's by any means, what was it, 93?
93%.
Rotten Tomatoes got that wrong. Like, that's very high. I mean, if you just watched it in 76 and you were new to horror or whatever, maybe that. But I thought there were enough strong moments in the film that if you are a horror buff, if you like horror films, I think it deserves a watch. I'm going to give it a 6 just for the mom's part alone and the revenge scene. It's just done so well. I didn't get the house crumbling in on itself, though.
I don't get it because I don't think that was in the book either. So just the collapsing, it's almost like the evil's gone. I don't know. Or it's.
Well, she destroys the mother and then she like hugs her and then just destroys the house.
She maybe from her own guilt. Like maybe she knows. Maybe she's just like, I can't be of this world. So then I got to remove myself as well.
Right.
And so part of the thing that I was kind of conflicted about this film is the role of religion in it. So like, because I know it's like, is it the devil possession? Like you guys just did Exorcist and just released that episode. But looking at it, like, are they thinking it's like a devil possession? But they're making it very clear it's telekinesis. Yeah. So I was kind of like, is that them going down to hell? Is the mom going down to hell? Like when it kind of goes in on the ground kind of thing. So maybe something like that. I actually put that the house falling in didn't stand the test of time for me. So looking back on my notes here.
Like I did not like how that ended. Like I love the revenge scene. I loved her walking with the blood on her and just kind of Frankenstein walking. Car flip was kind of stupid.
It was stupid.
I didn't mind the flip. I hated the explosion. I hated the fact that they were even trying to run her down. Actually,
I was just so happy that she died. I was like, oh, finally, good. Got her. Got her good.
Got her, yeah. So I liked that. And then I liked the attack on the mom. And then it all just kind of went like, this movie's weird, but then it just went really weird.
Well, and then the epilogue with Sue's dream.
Yeah.
Where she becomes a likable character. And like, we find out she cared about Carrie and we're happy that she lived through the attack. But then why do we need to end this movie with like, she's so traumatized?
But then not really that traumatized, because the quote was, oh, she's so young and she's young enough, she's going to forget about it. Yeah. Her whole school was massacred. Yeah. And don't worry, she's still young and she's
the only survivor. Like that town is forever scarred.
The entire generation is gone, their whole high school.
So her boyfriend was killed by a bucket.
Who she asked. She's like, I need a small favor from you. Please take Carrie. And then
I'm sorry, there's going to be some trauma there.
Just a little lingering trauma.
And all those bad teachers are dead, so they won't teach her and have to deal with it. But I'm not sure where she's going to go to school.
There is no school. There's no high school. I also had a note here about why are there so many candles and why are the candles on the bed? Like when they went back to the house.
Balanced.
Perfectly balanced on the bed. I was like, it would have made more sense for the house to go up in flames as well, right?
Well, that's when she comes home and there's the light in the windows. I thought the house was burning.
Yeah. There's a little bonus, little trivia thing about when Sue freaks out. She has that dream and then she freaks out. Apparently, the actress that plays Sue's mom is her real mom.
Yes.
And she shouted out her real name. She said, Amy, because she'd never seen her child in that chaotic state before. So she lost character and was like, are you okay? So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I agree. I don't know why. I don't know what. The ending just, It
was kind of weird, right?
The commentary talks about this. Like, it's almost like Carrie's one of the first films that we then start to see in these slasher flicks. Like at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street, when the hand comes through the door to pull, is it Nancy's mom back into the house? Or
she goes to wave goodbye to her because she's like, see you. And then and that's funny because she goes right through the top part of the window, which is like a little a moon shaped window. I was like, how the hell did he grab her through that?
But then and it's, the Nightmare or the Friday the 13th where Jason's eyes open at the end.
Right.
So
where the killer always comes back.
Yeah. But I think this film suffers from that. Like it wasn't necessary. It's not like they were establishing a franchise of Carrie.
No.
Like part 2 wasn't till the 90s.
Right. I never saw part 2.
The Rage, Carrie 2. I saw it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. So then is Sue the next Carrie? Does she get telekinesis and start going off on people? I mean, that would have been cool. If you want to do a sequel, that would have been the way to do it. Not
that's the trauma.
She goes to a new school. That's the girl. And then she becomes the bullied one. Just the same template.
That's the one that had an entire school massacred because he's convinced her boyfriend to take
Carrie to the prom. And then Nancy dumps pig blood on her.
So it's basically another ostracized teen. Then it says Sue Snell, the only survivor of Carrie White's rampage 23 years ago, may hold the key to helping Rachel come to terms with her awesome but unwanted powers. But as Rachel slowly learns to trust, a terrible trap is being laid for her, and making her angry could prove to be deadly.
So Sue gets screwed over again? Like she's trying to help.
Leave the girl alone.
She doesn't even get the powers. She has to try to deal with the one that has powers.
She's like, oh, fuck, not again.
This other summary is great. In 1976, Sue Snell watched her life crumble as her boyfriend and most of her friends were killed by a telekinetic.
All of her friends, like the whole school.
23 years later, Sue is a counselor at the new high school where she seems to devote most of her time on Rachel Lang, a troubled young girl. Yeah. Yeah.
Does she slap her?
Oh, Rachel is Carrie's long-lost half-sister. Spoiler alert.
So did the mother have 2? Because she had a hard time having sex to have the 1, right? Like
the husband left.
The dad the demon? The dad planted the seed in the mom and then went off and planted another seed.
It's like the Omen or Rosemary's Baby.
Maybe we're all just conjecture
we're
here.
Speculating here. I love that little speech. I didn't mention this, but I love the little speech where she talks about her first time with the husband, and she's like, I could smell the whiskey on him, and I loved this part. Like she says she really liked it, and then she felt like sinful, so she prayed, and then I was just, wow. A lot of messed up shit in this film.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues that need to be unpacked.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening to us. Be sure to check out our Instagram page. We are at ScreamStreamPod. And stop by our website, screamsandstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and our movie suggestion page, where if there's a movie you want us to do on the podcast, put it in there and we will get to it in chronological order. And please subscribe to, rate, and comment on our shows on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, this has been Mike and
Chad.
Scare you later.